Eric Usher is head of UNEP FI. He joins me now. Eric, you're representing the UN when it comes to PRI. As you look at what the investment management industry is up to, what do you think the biggest challenges and opportunities are that face it when it comes to ESG?
It's been a good history with the PRI since it was established in 2006. The starting point has been certainly about risks. Where are risks in our portfolio that we need to be paying more attention to related to environmental, social, and governance issues? Lots of progress has been made. I think where we are now is a sort of an inflection point. And we like to talk about the notion, coming from the UN side, is we need to focus not only on risks, but also in terms of on opportunities, and finally on alignment. And if I can break that down a little bit, we talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, the Paris Climate Agreement, and some questions, some people say, oh, aren't there huge costs involved? And for the investors that we're dealing with within the PRI, it's more around a notion of, well, where are the opportunities? And so what can we be doing both to be limiting our risks, our exposures in certain sectors and certain technologies and otherwise practices which are have a negative impact on society, on the climate, on social issues, human rights, etc. But it's also very much about how can we develop new types of products and services, what sort of findings and activities and underlying industrial activities are actually going to contribute to society's needs. So where can we make opportunity really as a business driver for delivering on society's needs? In terms of once you start to do this, and almost everybody's doing something today, since 2015 when the UN Sustainable Development Goals and Paris Agreement were put into action, everybody's been doing stuff, great stuff. We have the green bonds, which are really sized up, lots of investment in renewable energies, and now in electric vehicles, etc. But now the next step really we would say is around alignment. So it's not about doing something, it's about the rest of your portfolio. So if you're going to do a green bond, start to think about what about the rest of your fixed income portfolio, how green is it, and what's your plan to actually green that over time. So when we're looking at alignment, we have to start to decide as an investor, alignment to what? And there's a lot of discussions in the climate realm around, are we talking about a 2 degree, is it 1.5 degrees? Or some might actually say, well, we expect the climate to actually go up 4 degrees and we should align to that. Now, most PRI signatories, I think, are seeing that they have a role to play in aligning what I would say is with society's needs, which means aligning with well below 2 degrees, and therefore starting to align their overall portfolios and all of their asset classes to actually say, okay, so we've learned about green bonds, all of our fixed income, needs to meet metrics which provides an alignment actually with a well to 2 degree trajectory. And that starts you to then for a lead to say, okay, what do we do with the companies that we own? We can actively engage with them, we can divest with them, we can employ new types of sophisticated tilted indices or other types of passive investment products. And over time, there's not one set of solutions, but alignment is around having a common goal, is to say, okay, this is where we want to head to, and to start to put in place the tools, the products, the incentives within our organization to actually deliver that over time.
Well, throwing this back at you, the UN itself, government and politicians, are they doing enough to align their policies with a world where temperatures rise between 1.5 and 2 degrees?
That's a very good question. And I think the easy answer is obviously no. Government ambition is not where it needs to be, and ambition needs to scale up. And in 2020, we will start a process between governments to start to see, it's the ratcheting process about where are we today in terms of where government commitments stand and where do things need to ratchet. I think what we learned from 2015 and the success of the Paris Agreement was that the investment community played a very important role in raising ambition, in that governments, when they went to sign up to the Paris Agreement, they had the comfort that the newspaper headlines the day after in their home countries was not going to say their country signed up to a job killer, but rather they signed up to what the future economy is going to look like. And so once again now, although government ambition is not where it needs to be, investor ambition needs to send the signals to basically get governments to ratchet up.
Eric Usher, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.